Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We are live. It is officially the end of season, but the game, they thought the game was over, but the game has just begun for us because it's transfer season. Once the season ends for everyone else, it starts to get a bit tasty for us. We start to see transfer dealings start to happen. We start to see rumours picking up, some audacious rumours as well, like that you could never believe, but you're just happy to be a part of it. That's the ship I'm on. That's where I'm at. I'm at the point where I just want to hear players thrown at me. Like when you hear like the likes of Rodrigo, probably not going to happen, but you get excited about those sorts of things. That's what you want to hear leading up to the transfers. And then by the end of it, you're scraping around the bottom of the barrel. You've got a freebie from second division in France. But it happens. We've all been there. Hopefully that's not Arsenal summer. Could potentially be Man United, although I am hearing a lot happening already. We're
scraping the bottom of the barrel already. Anyway, we'll get into that later.
I'm seeing all sorts of names flying about that could potentially happen. And especially when you look at the clubs that they're at, you see like links to Bryan Mbeumo. You see,
exactly my point. Exactly my point. Bryan Mbeumo had one good season, and now he's worth 55 mil. Get it?
It's not. It's not. Is it 55? Is it 55?
Yeah, 55 mil. 55 mil, bro. Yeah.
Actually, had one good seson. Has he had one good season?
No, seriously, one because he's had a banging season this year. Yeah. We're going to get into it, but you may see him pop up when we do our team of the season, bruv, because it's actually
You may.
Because his season has been ridiculously special.
The
rest of it is dog. So I'm not
the Premier League.
Yeah, it's 38 games. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. No, listen, look, Man United need things. So Man United this year is more about the selling, I think, than anything else. Here, to be fair, trimming that squad down. Like, did you see Remembering's press conference about that? Like,
no, but we're getting to that. We're getting to that. Obviously, there's obviously a lot of talk about Man United going to be struggling this year, but it seems like they're not going to be. It seems like they've got all their ducks in a row and they're sort of prepared for the worst, which is what you've got to do. So it could be an interesting summer for Manchester United. But obviously, there's a lot of teams that are in transition. There's a lot of teams that need players. There's teams that have got into the Champions League and Europe for the first time or a first time in ages, and they need to refresh their squad. So, yeah, it's going to be a very, very busy and a very, very interesting summer. And especially when you see the likes of Chelsea, they're not a team that mess around in the transfer market when it comes to when they're in the Champions League. So I fully expect them to not only be linked to some of the better names in Europe, but actually pull through with it. And that's one thing that Chelsea do. They find a name, then they go for it. So it's going to be.
I'm already hearing that they're after like 2 or 3, like in one sitting, the best strikers out there at the moment.
Yeah, I've already heard Bruno Ekitike, Hugo Ekitike, and Victor Gyökeres. I can see the Gyökeres happening. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like 100%.
I can see, especially it's Chelsea. They've got European pedigree, like they're respected in the football community, and someone like Victor Gyökeres, it's a fit. You can see it fitting. Chelsea will just go for it, and they'll pay the extra on the wages as well. We discuss that when it comes up to the transfer section. But first and foremost, it's the team of the season. It's what we do every year. I've got a feeling ours are going to be very similar. Like we've not spoken about it, but
no, we haven't had a word about it. I don't know why you got. No, there isn't a Man United player in there. That's all right. I thought a Man United player in there, like in that background picture. I'm like, what are you doing?
Where's Wally, or is it where's Bruno? Yeah. That's the only one. When there he is on the left hand side. It's the only one you could legitimately have an argument with, and even then, it's going to be very tough to get him in.
Yeah, you can't. I'll be interested to see what your team is done because actually I've gone a little. Because in fairness, it could have been a lot of Liverpool in there, so I've tried to throw a couple of random ones in. They're still, I'm sure, we're going to be similar, but yeah. Well,
we will see. And if you've got your team in the season ready, get in the comment section, let us know, and give us your input. Sometimes we might actually need a little bit of help to make that final decision as well. So get involved and get in the comment section. If you are watching on Twitter, press that like and press that retweet. It makes a big, big difference. If you're watching on YouTube, press that like and press that share button. Again, that massively helps us. And if you are not subscribed to the show, why not? Get involved. It's free, and you just got to press the button. All right. Let's get going. So it's the Premier League team of the season. Let me pull this up in the background.
The team builder up.
How hard was it to pick this for you?
I found it well easy, to be fair, Keir, this season. Yeah. Like usually there's only I've got 2 players that we can like really realistically you could say are more of a favourite player pick than the best player in that position, but the rest of it still fell into place, really, man. You know what I mean? Especially with Spurs and Man United and Chelsea not doing great, and Man City and Arsenal not laying a glove on Liverpool all season. So it made it pretty simple for me, realistically. Yeah. Like all of these things, there's players that you can put in there that there's no argument to it. Like, you know what I mean? Let's face it, Mo Salah's got to be in there. Like, that's not even a discussion. But yeah, no, I find it pretty simple. Like sometimes you're stuck, ain't you? You're like, oh, you have to dig deep into the stats and really like it's a fine line between 2 players. No, this year round, I found it pretty simple. Yourself?
Like you said, it's. I found it pretty simple. Obviously, you've got the obvious Liverpool ones, and then after that, it's like it's personal preference. And I was trying not to go for the obvious, but sometimes it's hard not to go for the. Sometimes you try and veer too far away from it, and then you actually look at it, and you're like, nah, come on. Like you've got too much of an argument to try and get this one in. Like, and it's only if there would be like a split and someone else had it potentially, and I'd have to make my decision there. But yeah. It was relatively easy, and I think outside of the obvious ones, it's personal preference as to what may have taken your eye, whether it's in the first half of the season or the second half of the season. Because I've found that outside of Liverpool, it's been very much a split with some people's seasons. Some people's seasons have been very consistent like that, and some have had like an okay start, but then at the end, in the second half of the season, they actually flew. So. It'll be interesting to see what you've got so far. Let's pull up the one we always use, the FIFA squad builder. It's done me good in the past. I'm sure it will do me good in the end. Except for usually it's always a random name where it's like,
don't find it.
How are you not in there? Like you've been here for like 3 seasons now, top goal scorer last season. Like, why are you not there? But
still ain't got a FIFA card.
yeah. And you got to stick a random player from like League 2 in there that's just got the same name. All right. First up, who have you gone for in goal?
For me, this is one of the easiest ones. I think everyone's having this geezer in his team. It's Matt Sells. Yeah. It's just listen. You can have a discussion about David Raya with me if you want to, but like, I don't mean you personally, but some people, he won Golden Glove along with Matt Sells. But Matt Sells, 13 clean sheets for the season, 120 saves, 72.1% save percentage. Like literally, like he's just top of the charts on everything, and he played for Nottingham Forest. You know what I mean? Like he's not. It's a simple one for me, and you already put him in there, so I'm guessing you're the same, mate. I think that's what him and the right wing are the easiest 2 of the season for me.
Yeah, look, and you said the names there yourself. I think it's only fair to mention the other Golden Glove selection, which is David Raya, because I, honestly, he's in Arsenal's shortlist for player of the season, and he has to be. He's been absolutely outstanding this season. So many games where he's saved Arsenal. People say he's had a little bit of a sketchy time of recent but people, I feel again. People are they scrutinise the keepers so much. It's like I feel like you're sometimes you're looking for something. Like a goal goes in, it's like, what would you say on the keeper there? And I'm like,
you get that every week from me with Onana. You get that every week. As a goalkeeper, exactly. What did I do wrong
in? Go and have a look at Onana and then come back here and tell me the keeper could have saved that. But like you said there, Sells, the fact that he's done everything there, like Raya, in terms of clean sheets, but he's done it at Nottingham Forest as well, which has been peppered with shots. The amount of times he's saved Nottingham Forest, and it's a big reason why Nottingham Forest are in the position they are and held that position as well. Absolutely outstanding season. 33 years of old, so he's doing it for the old boys as well.
Is he 33, Sells? I did not know that. He was 33.
Yeah.
That's mental. I actually thought he was younger than that.
Excellent season.
I'll just throw one more stat out for him as well, which I thought was a really good one, is that for Forest, he has prevented 5.3 guaranteed goals, which would have lost them games and knocked him out of the Champions League. Yeah, so that's from Opta as well. That one. So I did a little. I didn't do too much research.
A little bit of homework. I'm not saying.
Just cut the players here and there. I've got some stats for you. Know what I mean?
If you pull out one too many Arsenal players, I'm going to be hitting you with some stats, mate.
I swear to you, that's the players I've got, though. That's the ones I've got in case you're trying to put an Arsenal boy in there. It's like, well, just so you know, David Raya is good, but the stats don't.
Why do you mention Arsenal player on every player, Garth? How much did you prepare?
But yeah, I do think that for a season, magnificent. Nothing but like. Listen, maybe I've had a rough season, but I like the fact we're seeing some new teams emerge. I know they've had to spend a lot of money, and some people are saying that that's a bad thing for them. But they took a gamble. If this didn't pull off for them, they could have gone into administration. They points deductions, all sorts, man. So. Listen, for me, fair play, Forest. Fair play to themselves.
Yeah, I can't knock that at all. Look, what I can knock if you're cooking the books and just finding every single loophole to get into the positions you are, and then you see some skullduggery. But we're looking at a club who have taken a risk to spend money to get into those Champions League spots, and then they've done exactly what they need to do. We saw it a good few years ago with Wolves, where they brought in players where they had the likes of was it Jimenez? They also had the man who's gone to Saudi Arabia now, centre midfielder.
Yeah, you've done me now.
Kill me.
No. Yeah.
Ruben
Neves. No.
Ruben Neves. Yeah, Ruben Neves.
It is Neves.
Ruben Neves. Yeah, Ruben Neves. They had an excellent squad for the Championship, and people were complaining about the fact that, how can they spend all this money? And well, they took the risk. And if they didn't go up that season, they would have gone into administration and have been bang in trouble. But they didn't. They took that risk, and now they're in the Premiership League. And if you're going to take that risk and it works out, then fair play. And it has paid off. So top work there. Next up, let's go for the right back position.
Do you want to do this alternatively? Do you want to go first on this one?
Me?
Go
on, I'll go first. So right back, there was a couple of options. But I've gone for the man who has put his body on the line after coming back from an ACL injury last season. And I've gone for, again, another player who could potentially be in the shortlist for Arsenal's player of the season is Jurrien Timber. I think he's been absolutely outstanding this year. I've been absolutely blown away by how good he was. You sold him to me. I didn't realise he was this good. But yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant this year. Absolutely brilliant. So he's gone in position of a right back for me. There was a couple of other options, but yeah, I opted for Jurrien Timber in the end.
Yeah, that was my second choice, Jurrien Timber. So he's going to go in because I've gone Trent. Now, obviously, you've got more defensive minded, but Trent is attacking stats this season incredible for Liverpool.
Yeah, I can see that.
Incredible. Yeah,
I saw quite a few team of the seasons actually.
Yeah. Again, Opta have got, but Opta's obviously it's all stats based. On stats alone, he's in their team of the season. But a lot of that is when you do Opta stats, a lot of it is far more skewed towards attacking stats and how many passes you've had, how many this, how many that. You know what I mean? And obviously, it's the same old story with Trent Alexander-Arnold. No defender's got his accuracy of passing, the amount of passes into the final, balls into the final third, long passes that convert into shots. You know what I mean? Etc. 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 Obviously, listen, defensively, there's always going to be a question mark around him. I think we do too much with this Trent can't defend thing.
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. Who is it who got asked? Who was? Oh, it was Curious Villa. He got asked who was the toughest fullback you've played against, or the toughest defender you've played against this season, and he said Trent. Excellent defender, excellent going forward. He was a constant problem. I don't get it. I do not get it. This slander that Trent Alexander-Arnold is a poor defender. And when you ask, they did a little interview with a load of Real Madrid fans and they was like, "Oh, what do you think of Trent coming?" And they're like, "Oh, we've heard he's a terrible defender. We've heard we've got the worst player." Like, who the hell told you this?
That's crazy. It's crazy. That's what I mean. Like, listen, he ain't the greatest defender of all time. Don't get me wrong, but again, his defending is decent. Like, he's a Premier League defender. He's good. You know what I mean? His defending is excellent, and he's always got that. Again, is a random one for you. No defender has been involved in as many open play shot ending sequences as him per 90. Per 90, wow. 6.2 a game he's given you of shot ending sequences. And I know it's an attacking thing, like moving off the defending, but again, like, you just can't. Real Madrid have got a player there. I don't care. His defending is good, and whatever frailties he may have as a defender, he far makes up for it in the attacking phase for a team as well. So yeah. But Timber, listen, you know how much I love Jurrien Timber. Like, he ain't got a player of the season card or nothing. 79. What are they on about? Shocking. Jeez.
Centre back as well.
Well, to be fair, he is, like I said before you signed him, it's centre back, right back, defensive midfielder, left back in that order is his best positions. So, but in the Premier League, listen, as a right back with his transition play, with his passing, with his ability to move through the lines, and you know, I mean, all them cliched statements that you're going to hear. Yeah, he's close to. He is one of the best defenders in European football, and there's no question about it. So,
and one thing that I think he could, I don't want to say work on, because he obviously does it. It's just the way we've been playing. One thing he could add more to his game in the Premier League is going forward. I've seen him on that, like, in and around the box. He's more of the putting the balls between the lines and playing the balls in the channels, as opposed to whipping the balls in. Now I think there's room to add to his game, because it will just add another dimension to his game. And going,
he's still in 20.
Yeah, it's still young. Yeah, still young. And attacking, I think we could add more to his game. But defensively, absolutely blown me away this season.
But that's what's showing you that he was mainly a centre back, as far as my information. He played right back, but and you can tell that, as what you're saying, he hasn't quite got used to that freedom to step up. Like, listen, if he was playing in the early 2000s, it'd be the perfect fullback. The best fullback he is anyway for me up there. But you know what I mean? When it weren't expected for a fullback to do more than overlap. You know what I mean? Overlap. That was all you expected to really do. Gary Neville-esque, you know what I mean? Overlap. Like, get across it now. It'd still be the best. But yeah, these days, there ain't much better. So yeah, I can't argue with him being in there. But yeah, shout out Trent. I don't have any other shout outs for right back either, to be quite honest with you.
No?
Not really. I like Aina has been talked about a lot. I didn't watch enough of him, to be quite honest with you. I know.
There's a good shout for an honourable mention. I think that's fair.
Weirdly, like, listen, we've been awful, so he can't go nowhere near it. Mazraoui's got really good stats for a shit season at United, but like, I'm not saying it's a shout out or anything. I'm just like, he's actually been one of the more consistent players in that dead team. So, but apart from that, I mean, Chelsea, no, I'm not having anyone from there. Like Newcastle, who's their right back? My brain's gone blank right now. It's not Livramento, is it? Say again. This is Lewis Hall. Yeah. So like decent again, but nowhere near the level of a Trent or a Timber in my eyes, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's a golfing class. There's a golfing class between them two and the rest of them. So.
And you can take the reins on the left back then.
Left back for me. One shout out is Robinson at Fulham again, done well. Like, just does his job, gets on with it, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, you know where I'm going with Kian. I'm sure a lot of people like it. It's Milos Kerkis, my man, you know what I mean? My boy, my bambino. Let's say, and I don't even have stats for him because I just think he's been phenomenal. What a signing from Bournemouth. Like, absolutely fantastic player. Listen, I know there's going to be some Arsenal fans out there going to want me to talk about Lewis Skelly. I just don't think he did enough throughout the season, if you know what I mean. And I know some people are going to want me to talk about
later. So
the
one I picked.
Yeah, and Livramento again, another Newcastle player again. I like him, just not on the same level as Kerkis for me at this moment in time. For me, if I was judge and jury on young player of the season, it would be between him and someone else that we'll be talking about in a bit, Kerkis. So,
I've actually gone for someone different because I think he's probably been. But I think I'm going to go for Kerkis in the end because it's different to who you picked. I think he's been one of Chelsea's best players. I've actually gone for a Chelsea player, and that is Marco Cucurella. 7-goal contributions.
It's not bad, shout. Yeah.
5 goals, and especially of late, he's added some important goals, and I think he's quite underrated as a player. Maybe it's his hair. I think saying that if Ferguson would have got older, he would have made him cut his hair off straight away.
100%.
But I think he's come on leaps and bounds in his defensive play over the last couple of years, actually. And I've seen him mark keep Saka quiet in a few games over the last few times he's played him. So it's not often I'm going to give Chelsea's players shout out, but it's one of the most neutral.
No, solid season for him, definitely.
Yeah, solid season. But I'm going to go for Kirkis. I think it's a good shout. I think he's been excellent.
Yeah, he's been excellent. Another shout, which I don't think you can, but I can understand if you do a stats-based thing, is Gvardiol.
It was another one. It was another one. Which progressive carries. Loads of people put him in.
Yeah, it's because if you're just doing it on stats alone, like his stats are incredible. Like progressive carries are something mental. I believe that he's only second to Van Heck at Brighton for progressive carries from a defensive position. Then you get into like shots on target for him as well, goal scoring threat, etc., etc., etc. But I'm gonna spoil it for some people a little bit here. Ain't no Man City players in my team. They were rubbish this season. I can't do it. Like they didn't do anything. Yeah. Like you've done. Man City fell below expectations. They fell below expectations. So like there's honourable mentions for players, but I'm not going to put him in. Like I definitely have Cucurella over Gvardiol, and I definitely have Kirkes over Gvardiol. So
I find it hard to have honourable mentions because it has been such a fall off. That there's been underwhelming season. I would say that would probably be Arsenal. There's been some impressive seasons, and you've got the likes of Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth have been impressive and played above what their level is. Liverpool obviously winning the league, but Man City's just been like just at the end, they just decided to save it. And it's like you're better than that. You're better than that. A team that's hitting 90+ points a season for how many years? 6 out of 8 years winning the Premier League, to drop off as much as they did. Yeah, there's like you just head down, go through the summer, and start again. Hit that reset button. Give us your centre back 2.
We're going to do the 2, are we? I think Virgil van Dijk, he's got to go in there, obviously. I don't think it's a question. This is where to be fair, I was looking to start an argument with Steve, but he's not here, so I can't. But I haven't got I haven't got Saliba or Gabriel in there. I went with the other player I think is going to win, should be winning Young Player of the Year, Dean Huijsen. But if you've watched this show enough with me, you know how much I rate this kid. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago I was saying that anyone should buy him. 2 days after that, the people at Real Madrid had listened to me, and when Charles said that this kid is the one. 50 mil is going and get him. You know what I mean?
Did you not know this is the #1 scouting channel on YouTube? Like we offer recommendations for clubs all around the world at any level. You just get in the comment section. Let us know what kind of player, what attributes you're looking for, and we will find them.
Yeah, I mean you've got is it Milenkovic? Is that him at Forest as well? I've got that one wrong. No. Yeah, so you got him, Saliba and Gabriel. Obviously, for what is it, the 3rd season running, the best centre back partnership in the league must be now. Who else is there out there at the moment? Dan Burn. He's playing left back, isn't he, this season, most of it. So I think is he?
I think you've got them, to be fair. Dan Huijsen, Saliba, Gabriel, Van Dijk.
Yeah.
Not Chelsea, not Man City, Newcastle.
Nah.
That's
what I mean. That's what you get.
He's an absolute animal.
Is it Murillo as well? Murillo's the other one, isn't it? At Forest. Yeah. But apart from that, no, not really. I think it was Bono put was it Mings he put in his team? Oh, no, Konze put Konza in his team. Yeah, he put Konza, not Mings, sorry, Konze. He put Konza in his team. I'm like, nah, come on, mate. He's done all right, but he can't be doing that. So
sorry, mate.
But if you want Saliba or Gabriel in their kit, I'm not going to fight you on it, brother. With Dean Huijsen, I'm not.
Yeah, I have gone for Gabriel. I know many people have picked William Saliba, and as I said before, I love William Saliba. I think he's an outstanding defender. He's as a player, he's great to watch, and as a defender on top of that as well. brilliant, young. Not bring him up too much. Obviously, with the credentials that we have and the reputation we have, I don't want Real Madrid knocking on the door. So I'm going to play it down a little bit. But Gabriel's been, before his injury, excellent, absolutely outstanding. Goals again. I think he's still one of the top goal scoring centre backs. Scores important goals, and defensively, he's a rock. And although Jakub Kiwior has done well, Saliba has slightly suffered not having Gabriel as his partner. So yeah, I am going to go for Gabriel and Virgil van Dijk. I think they complement each other, and I think, I think he gets in just for me over Daniel Huijsen. But again, I'm down for Huijsen either. He's another player who scored some important goals this season.
The only reason I wouldn't put an Arsenal player in there, and as we've already got one as well, is I think if we're doing it, I know it's individual performances, but as a team, I feel Arsenal have underperformed this year from what they should have done in the league, which is not like glove on Liverpool at all season. So that's the only argument I've got for it. But listen, Saliba, Gabriel, Huijsen, yeah. And funnily enough, I was going to go Gabriel over Saliba if I was going to pick one. So I think, as we're both in agreement on there being, if I was saying Saliba, I might fight it for Dean Huijsen. But as we're both saying Gabriel's been the better one, then I think, he gets in there. I should have fought more for Trent. Somehow I've gone from having no Arsenal players in his team to 2 already. 2 out of 5. What is going on?
Okay. So far in our team of the season, it's looking pretty tasty. We have Sells in goal, Jurrien Timber at right back. We've got Gabriel and Virgil van Dijk in at centre back, and Kerkez in at left back. Who have you got in midfield, Steve? They called you Jason. What's going on?
I'm
getting old.
Only 20 years, mate. I know I was on here once, mate. That was happened here. Like, you've forgotten, I had my hair cut a little while ago, so.
Forget where I am.
Yeah, well, I'll do. So, what should we do them one at a time here, or do you want to do?
Do one at a time. One
at a time. So I've got my first one's going to be. I'll give my outside of the box one. It's not really that outside the box, to be fair, but someone I think deserves a mention. Sandro Tonali.
Okay.
Just because I think Eric Newcastle have done well this season. He's been a part of that, in my opinion. He really is a quality player, and I'll be interested to see how much longer he actually is at Newcastle. To be quite honest, I know they've got a lot of money and everything, so that's not a question. But he's just better than a 4th, 5th place team. He really is. Funny enough, Kit, I could see Tonali being you don't need him, but an Arsenal player. I could see him doing very well under Arteta. Funny enough, Sandro Tonali.
It's just I don't see anyone getting players of Newcastle.
No, they're not exactly because they've got money. Yeah, yeah. But that'll be my first one, mate. I've got. Who's your first one that you got in there?
My first one is Alexis McAllister.
We're definitely a part here. Yeah. See, we should do it probably like this because have you got any other Liverpool centre midfielders in there?
My unsure, not sure was Gravenberch.
I've got Gravenberch, bruv. Yeah.
Okay. Because the first half of the season, he was probably the best midfielder in the league.
Literally, the stats back it up as well, mate. 1 possession, 193 times for Liverpool. Of that, 60 were interceptions, which is second in the league for interceptions. Of those winning possessions, he's first in the league for converting a winning possession into an attacking opportunity. Gravenberch, I like McAllister. It feels like McAllister's one that's caught everyone's eye, and he's done fabulously as well. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But whereas Gravenberch seems to be that player we always talk about here, the one that don't score that much, don't assist that much, only gets 6.8 every game. Take him out of your team, watch yourself crumble. Watch yourself crumble.
Andy King.
Yeah.
If 001 to 002.
Yeah, if you're right with Gravenberch over McAllister, I reckon that should be our first one.
I'm happy with that one.
Yeah. Gravenberch then. Gravenberch, definitely.
Another outsider as well.
Go on.
My other outsider, he's been nominated for Young Player of the Year, is Morgan Rogers. it was out of him and Tielemans. But I went for Rodgers just because he's a player that I've been so impressed with on the eye since the start of the season. The way he moves with the ball, he's powerful. His dribbling's excellent. He's been getting goals as well. I think he got his first England full cap this season as well. He's really, really impressed me. And hearing his backstory about when he was from Man City, he originally from West Brom, Man City. It didn't really work out with him at Man City because he didn't really play the style that he wanted to play, and he really struggled with moving into a Pep system. They moved into Aston Villa, and it gave him a little bit more freedom to play how he played, which impressed Man City in the first place. And he said, "Yeah, you're going to see more and more." So I really like his attitude. I like the way he plays. Very, very aggressive. Not just like as in attack or anything like that, but aggressive with his running, aggressive with his attacking play. And I really do like his directness. So yeah. Player I've been really impressed with this season.
Yeah, you see, if we're doing the AM centre, which is what we'd be putting more Rodgers in reality, isn't it? Listen, I know it's going to be like because Man United are signing him. It's not. It's Matheus Cunha. The stats, incredible stats.
I like Cunha. I noticed you seem to be warming to him a little bit. Now he's potentially
he's a Man United player.
Always rated him.
No. Always loved. What are you talking about? Always loved him. I still think the fee's too high. But listen, I still don't think he's as good as a lot of people think he is. But the stats are incredible: 21 goal contributions in 32 games in the league for Wolves. Don't forget that for Wolves. That's the difference there. But Morgan Rodgers, do you know what? That's a flip of a coin for me, kid. It really is, mate. Matheus Cunha or Morgan. I didn't even think of Rodgers, to be quite honest with you. That one went where I didn't even think about it.
Who's your other call? Who's your other shout then?
What, Graham centre?
Well, just for in midfield.
And the other one, my three are Gravenberch, Tonali, and Cunha. So it's Gravenberch and Tonali behind Cunha is my three in the centre midfield. Rice, listen, Declan Rice gets a big shout out as well, like massive shout out. I wouldn't argue with anyone putting Declan Rice in there. Same as McAllister. I'm not arguing with anyone who wants McAllister in there, really. It's only because I wanted to know if you had Gravenberch is definitely in there. McAllister definitely in there. Obviously, what's the other Brentford fella? Did Damsgaard? Mikkel Damsgaard,
another one. Another one goes under the radar, Damsgaard. But when you look at the stats, he's there, always there.
Yeah, Partey has been influential for Arsenal this season. When he's been missing, you haven't been the same. You know what I'm saying? He's not getting.
Arguably, he's not getting midfielder. But the only difference, I think, Rice stepped it up from January, and even more so from what was it, the PSV game. And then it just got gradually better to the end where he has been probably Arsenal's best player.
And Casado as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Casado as well, another player.
Yeah. Gravenberch is definitely one
you're in that attacking midfield position because I think he needs a shout. He's a player that I've really liked this season. If you look at little things like shots per game, he plays like a striker. But he's just everywhere. Skillful. He could do with his discipline sorting out because he's a bit of a hothead. But excellent season. So I'm happy to go for Cunha in that second midfield position. It's that last position.
So who did you have? Because I'm going to put him on Tonali. Who's the one that you had as your other centre midfielder?
So I've got Rice and McAllister.
Rice has been better than Tonali. God, it's 3 Arsenal players. I'm being too generous. But yeah, again, it's one of them shouts where it's like you can't really argue with Declan Rice, and this is why he's literally written next to Tonali. And it's like in a sense of you should really be putting Declan Rice in here, but you're trying to be different. You're trying to show some knowledge. You know what I mean? Trying to be different out here. That's a powerhouse centre midfield, don't it? Gravenberch, Rice, and Cunha. Don't want to be getting caught in between that triangle.
Yeah, no, that is quality. Well, that was what is potentially going to be at some point when Arsenal are being linked with Matheus Cunha. He's got his season card there, and we're going to go for Declan Rice. Me and the Deutschen Declan Rice. I feel like I've learnt Turkish from that from that goal against Real Madrid. So Declan Rice.
Do you want some Declan Rice stats? I've got them in front of me here, mate. 59 chances created this season from his position as well. It's his highest ever tally in a top flight season for him.
Yeah. 18 goal contributions this season.
Yeah, exactly right. Set piece deliveries have been spectacular. What's we got here? So expected goals from indirect free kicks, which is a weird stat that Opta wanted to throw out at me. Like he's got
Here's one.
Possession over 90 minutes per game. Possession regains for Arsenal, number one, obviously 4.9 per game. And just so everyone understands that Martin Odegaard doesn't go missing in games, ranked second only behind Martin Odegaard, 11.3 kilometers per match to Rice's 11.1 kilometers per match on distant covered per match. So the man the man who keeps telling me don't do nothing, don't put the effort in, goes missing. Opta says you're lying. But why are you lying?
Did you notice? Yeah, last 3 games of the season, probably like last 5 games of the season, Odegaard's ratings are pretty damn high, and I think he's got 2 goals and 1 assist in like the last 5 games. Nothing said. Not quality. This is what we want from Odegaard. Just silence. Just silence, and that's what kills me. When it's not going right for Odegaard, you lot are the loudest. The loudest. You come out with names that I've never even thought of. Do you know what I mean? Puns for days. As soon as he starts turning it on and doing well, zip it. Nothing.
Crazy. Another one in players. Listen, if Arsenal fans who don't like Odegaard, listen. You can not like a player. I get it. I've got a lot of Man United fans who don't like Bruno, but you would miss your system, the way you play. Yeah. There isn't really another Odegaard out there in your price range, if that makes sense. I don't like that. Yeah, you can throw one of the best players in the world at me and be like, well, he's better. Yeah, of course he is. You know what I mean? Yes, of course he is. Like Jude Bellingham. Is he though? But anyway, like if you want to argue with that, fair enough. But you would miss Martin Odegaard desperately. As has been seen this season, with a little bit of drop in form. Yeah. The season's been a bit dodgy, you know.
Exactly. What I mean? Is that not a prime example of how much we miss him? When he weren't there, we were like, "Oh my god, what we're going to do? We've got the creativity. Like, missing that runner in the midfield." He comes back, he does well for the first few games, and he starts to tire out, and then he looks like a little bit different. You're like, "Oh, dead food. Get rid of him. Strip with the captain's hand." Like the lack of loyalty is alarming for you lot. It's genuinely alarming. I know you shouldn't have too much of affiliation with players because they're but you've got to understand, we're there to support. So when times ain't great, this is when you need to support. We're not just here to just be entertained. It's a two-way street.
Don't be a fair weather fan. You know,
exactly.
I mean? Don't be.
Exactly. I think we all know who's going into these positions. Like it'll be a massive shock.
Yeah, I presume so. So it's Salah right wing, yeah.
Salah right wing. Let's just start with Salah right wing.
One that maybe, yeah. Salah, I haven't even written anything down for Salah, bro, because it was such a like Salah and Isak are just so nailed on, mate. I've got you no stats for either of them because it's not necessary. But I can fix that. I can pull some up for you, mate. Obviously, I can pull some up for you.
Look,
Salah
obviously was there to break the records this season as well, close to breaking a lot of records. It did break a lot of records.
Well, first player in Premier League history to hit double figures of both goals and assists by Christmas. Smashed the record for total goal involvements in a 38-game season with 47, 29 goals, 18 assists, which is just, I mean, it's incredible.
Phenomenal.
It's just incredible. The benchmark set that he's been breaking also was set by Alan Shearer and Andy Cole when there was 22 teams and you played 42 league games in the Premier League as well. So scored 6 more than anyone else. One off equaling the record for most assists in the campaign by Henry and De Bruyne with 20 with his 19 assists. It goes on and on, kid. You know what I mean? Like he did both a goal and an assist in 11 different games this season for Liverpool. He did a double it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible this season, and Liverpool would have been out of their minds to let him go. Out of their minds.
100%. Crazy. It's not even. It wouldn't even come across my mind to think Salah needs the new contract. No. You're not ready for the Salah transition. I am as an Arsenal fan. I'm sitting there waiting for that Salah transition, but you ain't ready. You're going to be scrambling around for seasons to try and find a replacement for Salah. So I'm guessing you're going to start doing that. I'm seeing like names, we get into it in a bit, but I'm seeing names like Julian Alvarez, which would be an excellent signing. But yeah, to replace those 40 goals a season minimum, it's going to be a tough ask. But
it's crazy. And Isak, obviously, I mean, there isn't another striker in the league that's come close to it, is there? Really, there's like striker out striker. I mean, some stats: only the 4th player in Premier League history to score in 8 consecutive games. After Ruud van Nistelrooy, who did it twice for United, and Jamie Vardy, who did it twice for Leicester. So, obviously, if you took away penalties from Salah's total, he's only 1 behind Salah on goals. If you're taking penalties away from both of them, so open play goals, 20 for Salah, 19 for Isak. Scored 9 in 6 at one point. But also, this is good. What's that for a key role in Newcastle's out of possession game with only Tarek Mitchell and Dominic Solanke. Applying more pressures in the final third that resulted in a turnover. With 146 pressures there, resulted in a turnover. Something tells me that 136 of them was against Man United, but I could be wrong. So,
mate, if you ain't gonna laugh, you'll be crying. So you gotta laugh.
Left wing. So what's your? Is it again Man United? Like we were talking about earlier, like he's been spoken about with Man United, but I don't like it in that much. Great season. Bryan Mbeumo on left wing is what I've gone with.
It's what I've gone for.
Because the season's incredible.
I don't know whether he has to play on the left. I know he does play on the left.
He does. I've squeezed him in. Yeah, I've squeezed him in.
We've done a Steve. Not doing quite a Steve, playing players completely in the wrong position.
Yeah.
But this is quite different.
Yeah, he's a forward. Listen, left wing was actually there isn't that much there. You've got Elanga done pretty well for Forest, but
he gets an honourable mention though. He gets an honourable mention.
And Jacob Murphy as well, funnily enough, has got reasonable stats playing out there as well. So
but again, he played more off the right.
Yeah, again, did, but he's had some out. That's what I mean. And then you're talking like who's the one that they have got that don't like they've got from Everton?
No, I could say Harvey Barnes, but it's not Harvey Barnes.
No, he did come from Everton, did he? Oh, Leicester. Sorry, that's it. Newcastle fell him. I don't think he's that good personally.
Oh, you mean Anthony Gordon? Has he been that consistent this year?
No, he hasn't. I'm sure he's all right, but he's not getting a shout out
recently.
Yeah, and then you go through the rest of the teams. Liverpool, they're sort of chopped and changed on that left wing. Like it's not been consistent.
He's in a few teams, but I'm not having Diaz in now.
Yeah,
he's all right. He's a good player, but I think he's a little bit overrated. He lacks the end product, I think.
You've just got to look at the stats from Mbeumo though, playing for Brentford again. Like it's crazy. Like 20 goals playing for you know what I mean, for a rubbish Brentford team at the end of the day.
Where'd they come in the end?
Top 10 was it? Do you know what you've put me on the spot there? I don't know.
I didn't mean to.
And that's an epic beard as well. He gets points for the beard game as well. Like he gets points for the beard game. So, not only that, like Brentford, they lost Tony last year, so I don't think anyone can't comprehend. Of course you can. I don't think there's a lot of credit being given to what he did to step up and bag 20 Premier League goals for Brentford this season. You know what I mean, with the 7 assists as well. Going through like playing literally left, right, and centre. Work rate is absolutely phenomenal. He made that's a stat and a half. He made almost 100 more off the ball runs at 1,037 than any other Premier League player this season.
Oh wow!
Whilst only Bruno Guimaraes and Daniel Muniz. Muniz, is that the right back? He should have got a little shout out actually. He was very good this season as well.
Oh, just the Palace one.
Palace fella, yeah. Third for total sprints, top for off the ball runs, third for ground covered. Like so, do you know what? Reading this, maybe 50 mil's all right for him at Man United. Like, all over the pitch though. You look at his heat map as well. Like he knows what he needs to do. His goals have all been from the right hand side. This is why realistically he should be on the right, cutting in, but he's actually got to spread across that front line. So you can't leave him out. That's what it comes down to. There's no one. If there was a left winger that had an outstanding season, and Mbeumo would have sadly missed out because Salah's so good. But there's no one I can put in there. I don't know if you've got anyone else, Keir, that I can put in there that even comes close to taking it for him.
No. That was my shout. My shout was Bryan Mbeumo. I cheated. I put him in. What about a manager of the season? Who would you go for in that position?
Do you know what? I just realised there's something I didn't do, but Nuno has to get a shout, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't think you can look past Slot, can you? First season, walking in and winning the league.
I had this myself the other day, and I was doing the standard. Okay, who you going to pick? Trying to find a small team that's impressed you. Eddie Howe, I think, deserves a shout. Getting Newcastle,
of course,
back to the Champions League. Like you said, Nuno, Emery, unlucky not to get Aston Villa in the Champions League. PGMO, what to say about that because that goalkeeping error was dreadful, but you got away with it. But yeah, look, how can you look past Slot?
You can't.
First season,
Slot. Yeah,
I think
transfers.
Yeah, I think he was overlooked by many, me included.
I was one of them, mate. Oh yeah, same here. I was taking the right mick out of them getting on Slot and proving everyone wrong.
And yeah, he's been absolutely phenomenal. You can't knock it at all. And if you look at what he's already doing in the transfer market now, it seems like they've got doing a good job, and it'd be interesting to see how they follow.
I don't want to talk about that, mate. I don't want to talk about Liverpool's transfers at the moment.
Sick or impressive as it can be.
So yeah, impressed. Yeah, we'll get into it in a minute, but yeah, it's making me sick thinking about it, mate. So,
so the squad is Sells in goal with Timber and Kirkers at fullback, Van Dijk and Gabriel at centre back, Gravenberch, Cunha and Rice in midfield, Salah, Isaac and Mbeumo up top, and Arne Slot in that role as the manager. Very, very solid squad. Very, very good squad.
And I've got a feeling that'll be very similar to a lot of people's teams this year as well. It's been one of them years. It's just, you know, I mean, like we said, like you can argue for McAllister if you want. You can argue for Dean Huijsen if you want, Trent if you want, but it's going to be very similar makeup to everyone else's teams. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, and that front three is almost just nailed on. I think everyone's doing what we're doing. From what I've seen here, everyone's doing what we're doing, which is you can't leave Bryan Mbeumo out, so he plays left wing in this one.
You can't leave Bryan Mbeumo out. You can't. There's 27 goal contributions in 38 games for a Brentford side who are possibly the most mid team in the Premier League. You can catch them on a good day, you catch them on a bad day, you never know. But yeah, they're your standard Premier League team. So I don't think another player who I really like at Brentford is Wissa. Very good player. Just not quite, never quite in people's eyes. So it'd be interesting to see what they do in him as well.
I think he's one of them players, isn't it? Where there's always someone just doing better than him. Like I think it's like 22 goal contributions he's got this season.
Yeah,
and Mbeumo's got 27. Last season it was like Tony was ripping up. You know what I mean? So you just think like, because he's been there a while as well. He's been there a good 4 years now. I think
4 seasons now. Yeah, and he always seems to score past Arsenal. So yeah, that's why I always noticed him. He always scores past Arsenal.
Yeah. 149 games for them, 49 goals. So that's a 1 in 3 that he's getting from his position.
From the wing position, not an out and out.
From the wing. No, yeah. Do you know what? Maybe that should have been a shout. But we have to get Mbeumo in. But yeah, 20 goals this season, all competitions for Brentford, 19 in the league. So yeah, fair play. Another
honourable mention. That's your honourable mention, isn't it?
Yeah, honourable mention, definitely.
There we go. If you think they've missed out on anyone, get us in the comment section. Get into the comment section of the video once it is out, or get into the comment section now on Twitter and let us know your issues there. Let's get on to the transfer updates now, what everyone's been waiting for. We will have Steve back next week, so by that point, the transfer window will be fully in flex. You'll be able to see whether any of your teams are being linked to any of the players in and around Europe or South America. I know it's already picked up quite a bit for Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, Newcastle are starting to pick up as well, and Manchester City. The first player that has been linked with Manchester City is Ryan Cherki. A story that Steve broke, I think it was way back in April. It's been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano that Manchester City are looking at Ryan Cherki. It was originally felt that they would be looking to get Florian Wirtz another player who they have been looking at for a fair few seasons. But Shirky is the player that seems to be more in their price range, and they can get him for as little as in and around £30 million. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of a bidding war because I know that Tottenham have been looking at him and a few other clubs in and around Europe. But Manchester City are ready to make a move for the Lyon midfielder. You saw him a couple of times this season, Garth. A player you think will translate well in the Premier League?
Yeah, for anyone else other than Pep, like for me, like Pep's
needs a bit of freedom.
He's a maverick, mate. He's a proper like mercurial player. Like Pep's got to stop doing this, mate. Buying these players and ruining them. Like, and listen, I know that like Pep's. I'll have no argument if you say he's the greatest manager to ever grace the Premier League. I can accept that. You know, I mean, even being a Man United fan, I'll argue Fergie, but like I can see why Pep would be yours. But he keeps seeming to buy players that clearly don't suit his system, Anthony, and want to turn them into something that they're not. He is a real mercurial player, even more so like than when they signed Doku. And I was like, "What are you doing signing Doku? You don't play that system at all. Like, what are we doing?" And same as he's done with Grealish. Yeah, I actually think it will be a bad move for Shirky. I really do. Obviously, it will win things. You know what I mean? It will have good stats because he's playing for Man City. But to get the best out of him, I would have liked to see him gone somewhere else personally. But very good platform, it seems.
We've seen Tottenham and now got that Champions League spot. You think he would be suited better there? He'd be a little bit more freedom, and he'd always have a route out as well because they're eventually going to have to sell. They would have to sell.
Yeah, well, again, I'm not gonna suggest to a player that he should go and play for Spurs because that's just suicidal, mate. Like, come on now, like obviously go Man City. No, do you know what? In reality, for me, Shirky should probably go somewhere that's not the Premier League almost. Like, like Spain or Italy for him, really. I'd love him at Man United, don't get me wrong. I'd love him at Man United, but it's just he's one of them players. I think he's at his best when he's allowed to do what he wants, like you're saying. Like when he's like he hasn't got to be confined to a system. He hasn't got to conform to a philosophy. He seems to play. He's that. What do they call it now? A Rumador or whatever it's called, isn't it? Like the space finder. Or whatever. He's not a 10, really. He's not a striker, really. He's not a winger. He's not a centre mid. He just sort of roams, isn't it? You know what I mean? I only watched 2 games, and did he play in both of them? He definitely played in one, and he was exceptional in one that I saw. Great dribbling, great close ball control. Looks like he's got a shot on him. Skillful, flary, and Man City for me, of everyone, that'd be a bad move for him. But I can understand why Man City want him. I can.
Yeah, they're looking for. He isn't a Kevin De Bruyne. There's the options on the wing as well.
Yeah, I think that they're actually stunned. I think that Florian Wirtz is the absolute ideal replacement for Kevin De Bruyne, and now they're
less flair, more down the line, simple, German.
Yeah. But listen, look, Pep's a great manager. And some players thrive. Maybe he'll go there and absolutely conform to the system, and you'll see a different style of player that's still got all of that flair and skill, but he's straight as an arrow. You know what I mean? And knows the job and plays magnificently. So, if you ask me,
turn Mahrez into the most English style winger. Get the ball, get it down, and make something happen in the final third only. Yeah. Whereas Mahrez would be a couple of step overs, flip flaps, tricks. He wiped that out of him. But he made it more efficient.
Lose it 7 times out of 10, but those 3 times that he kept it.
All right. More transfer news from Man City. Napoli sporting director Giovanni Manna says he's been working on a deal to sign Belgian midfielder Kevin De Bruyne for some time and can see the finish line. His contract at Man City expires next month. Oh, Kevin De Bruyne, Scott McTominay, solid midfield. They could potentially win that league again.
Something else has gone on here, Keir. There's no way that they're throwing Kevin De Bruyne away like this. Something else has gone on. That is crazy.
But he had 2 seasons where he's pretty much had to come back in the team after a long injury, which is like, I don't know, maybe they've just... No,
maybe, but they've got nothing else, mate. They've got nothing else. And when you're hearing the wage demands that I'm hearing that he wanted, which was 220 grand a week, like,
okay,
you know, I'm like, I don't know. I'm actually hopeful that this is the start of the fact that Man City are about to see some sanctions coming their way.
Oh yeah, we'll see. Look,
the point is getting out
after what the fact that they've been long-term admirers of Florian Wirtz, and they've seen that it's going to cost 120. That Man City would usually be like, okay, we're going to get him in because we're going to be efficient with what we've got as well. We're going to find a defender for 20 mil, pull him out of nowhere, like boom, we could do this. But the fact they've dropped out of that, the fact that I've seen that they've sort of stepped away from other big deals, does lead me to feel like they're trying to be a bit more.
They must be, to allow Liverpool to get in front of them and take
so easily.
There's something else going on there because Wirtz. Listen, I don't know much about Florian Wirtz, but obviously Maria, fan of the show. German football knowledge is supreme, obviously. Fan of the show, friend of the show. His football knowledge is absolutely supreme. The way she described Florian Wirtz to me, I was like, "Oh, that is just the perfect replacement for Kevin De Bruyne." Like it's like it's there. And in my mind, looking at what Man City have got in their squad right now, that's all they need in the summer. Like Florian Wirtz, that's it. That's all they need. They don't need to be bringing in anyone else. The squad's big enough as it is. They've got quality throughout. And if you're losing Kevin De Bruyne, that's the player you bring in. But something else is going on there at Man City, definitely. Like I'm sure they're still going to spend money.
Sanctions? You think they're just trying to be a bit? Because we saw it a couple of seasons ago where City were buying, and then all of a sudden it was like, no, we're going to be a bit smarter with our money, and we're not going to buy anyone big for a couple of seasons, and they managed to get away with it. But this is why they're in the situation they are now because they haven't been able to do that. Those big buys.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. They dropped 200 or around 200 mil in January, didn't they? Obviously, so there is that as well. To be fair, thinking about it, but if I was Man City, that's it. I'll be putting out everything I've got to get Florian Wirtz into that team. So,
I don't like how easy they've given up to Liverpool. Same with Bayern Munich as well. Because then
didn't Florian Wirtz outright say no to Bayern Munich though?
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, as I understand it, Bayern Munich, Florian Wirtz outright said no to Bayern Munich, which surprises me because usually, you know, that's the natural progression, isn't it? Leverkusen, Bayern, if you're a German player, and then you stay at Bayern until you're 33 and go and play for Milan or Arsenal or Madrid or Chelsea or Juventus for 2 seasons. You know what I mean? Else right at the end. So maybe he actually does want to get out there. So fair play. You know what I mean? I know that Bayern. On the back of that, and now you might be talking about this in a minute. So sorry for stealing your thunder, but they're going after Gakpo now. Yeah, they're going after Cody Gakpo.
I did see something about that, and Gakpo also said he wants to play in his actual position as well. So it seems like there's a bit of a thingy there.
Good signing. It'd be a good sign for Bayern Munich. Gakpo. I like Gakpo a lot. I think he's a good player, but he'd be very good in a German for Bayern Munich. So
he would. More Man United transfer news. Man United want Wolves and Portugal right back Nelson Semedo, the 31-year-old, will be a free agent in the summer. I think these are the sort of deals you're going to be looking at. I think
that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Solid signing.
You play wing back as well.
Yeah, 2-year contract with an extra year on it. You know, 3 with an extra year at most. He ain't going to be looking for 250 grand a week. In reality, that's probably a 90 grand a week player. You know what I mean? Like realistically, like 100 grand a week at most. Solid option. Imam Mazraoui, as well as Dalot. That's what you want. That's solid. You know what I mean? Solid options there of just.
Would you be looking to move on Dalot? Or would you keep him there?
I'd keep Dalot if you can keep him for another season. As like a backup player almost. I know it sounds harsh, but he can play right back, right wing back, left wing back. You know, like it's just nice to have that in the team. Yeah. Obviously, if someone coming with 30 mil, then we're having a conversation. It's a different conversation. But
I'm just thinking that he's one of them players where you see enough of him. He's got good going forward, half decent in the back. He's a player that could take a few people's interest, and if a bid comes in, you need to be some money together.
Yeah, but to get rid, just for getting rid's sake, no, I'd keep him. I definitely would keep. Even if we get Semedo in, because Mazraoui as well. Like I've got a feeling Mazraoui isn't a wing back. You're going to see him sort of move into the more centre back role, like a Luke Shaw does for Man United. Like I've seen, and then you've got Dalot and Semedo as your right wing backs with Dorgu, and that young fella we're getting in from Paraguay out on the left, Diego Leon. So,
I've seen him. But you've been looking for a while, haven't you?
No, we've got him. We've bought him. We bought him in January. It's just he's not coming till the end of the season now. Listen, highlights are hard to come by of him, but when you read reports on this Diego Leon, it looks like he could be potentially a very, very good player, one of them ones. But he's only 18, and he's never played outside of Paraguay or wherever it is that he plays, Uruguay. Like, let's not get too. A lot of Man United fans are getting very excited about him. I'm like, let's calm it down just a little bit.
Yeah, but we love these sorts of signings, don't we? Like, this is the kind of signing which Man United should have got Moses Caicedo for about 2 mil. I think it was something ridiculous like that.
4 mil. It was 4 mil.
I remember reading about him, and I was like, "Oh, Moses Caicedo." Nothing
said no. Glazers said no.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. When Solskjaer was manager, the Glazers had a rule that you could have free transfers, money transfers every summer. And we'd already had them, and they wouldn't sanction 4 mil. Same reason we didn't get Haaland, because they wouldn't sanction the 14.5 mil for Erling Haaland when Solskjaer rung him up before Solskjaer joined, when he was still at Mould. But where Haaland was
That's crazy.
Where was he before? He was at a club before Dortmund, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was at Salzburg.
Salzburg, when he was at Salzburg, and was like, sign him immediately. And back in the day, we used to do those things, and the Glazers was like, nah, 15 mil, nah. Now look at him, you know what I mean? He's a fucking robot, goal scoring robot. Like, he's had the worst season like for him since the season.
Yeah. I'm glad there's been less slander on him, because I think he's still got like 22 goals this season.
22 goals this season, just in the league. Yeah. Cool, 22.
People just used to more. Like, but we've got less slander of Haaland. I'm glad of that. Right? He doesn't deserve that, because he's still a phenomenal striker. He's just a really good centre forward. Like people, I don't know what people's expectations are. Like, he's putting the ball in the back of the net, and that's the most important thing for him to do.
That's what he gets paid to do.
Yeah. All right. Chelsea discussed the move with Eintracht Frankfurt's 22-year-old French forward Hugo Ekitike. They've also had significant interest in Sweden forward Victor Gyökeres and Ipswich Liam Delap. Look, I'm a big fan of Nicholas Jackson. When he first came in, I weren't too sure on him. His second season, he really impressed me. I think that the first season, what I did take solace from, especially towards the end of the season, I really noticed that he was always in the position. Yes, his finishing wasn't the greatest in that first season, but he was always in the right position. The second season, he followed up with putting more goals in the back of the net, and I think he had a little bit of an injury, which kept him out. But it coinciding with his injury, there was a massive fall off from Chelsea, and I think people need to take note of that. Really good player. So it's interesting that there are so many strikers linked. Not so much the big names, but it's the little ones in between. I'm thinking, do you really need a Liam Delap if you've got a Jackson there? Like, surely you're only going to get a Gyökeres or a Hugo Ekitike, and then you've got Jackson. Huh?
Have they still got Nkunku as well? Chelsea.
Yeah, they're definitely selling him. They're definitely selling him.
Don't forget also that they've still actually got João Felix as well. He's just out on loan at the moment.
Oh, yeah. And there was another player that they had, or did they sell him? Is he Italian striker that they bought for a fair bit? And did they loan him up?
David Washington. Oh, yeah, the 18-year-old, but they also had David Washington as well, the Brazilian superstar youth player as well.
Is he gone out to the club? Is it on loan, or is it? I can't even keep up with Chelsea.
No, I think I can't remember. I think they sold him, didn't they?
Yeah, they might have sold him and got like a.
No, he's not. He's on loan. He's on loan as well.
Is who they also got, and he is currently still at Chelsea. They did.
So David Washington. Both David Washington. So they're going to have like 4 or 5 of these 18-year-olds. You know, they're doing what I do on Champ, and it never works. You can't have 5 wonder kids for the same position, because then you don't play any of them enough, and they don't get good. You need 2 at the most. But on to Nicholas Jackson, mate, I like Nicholas Jackson. Honestly, I was going to say, I'd take him at Man United if he's available. Like, if he's available. Like, that's a striker I'd be very interested in. I don't know much about this Ekitike, though. Do you know much about him? I haven't paid much attention.
He's been a player who's been on the scene for a couple of seasons now. I think he originally started at PSG. He's I think West Ham were looking at him a couple of years ago. It's going to be one of them players that West Ham are going to be probably kicking themselves, because they could have bought him before everyone really knew about him. They didn't make that move for him. I think, who's the French team in orange? I want to say he was playing for them.
Oh, do you know what? I don't know off the top of my head.
I killed myself.
It's not nonce. It's not
nonce. Didn't he do that? Didn't he go there?
to us. Didn't even do it to us, kid. You've made us look like fools.
No, I'm just trying to flex my football knowledge, and I've absolutely flopped.
They've still got Borgia as well, Chelsea.
He's at Stade Rennes. They got Borgia. Yes, they have.
They've still got Armando Borgia as well. David Washington, Armando. Like they've got so many players out on loan. That's crazy. They've got that Ogo Chawukwa, who's well good as well. They've got Andre Santos, who's meant to be decent. João Felix. I could never pronounce it. Carney Chukwuemeka, however you pronounce that one.
Don't even talk to me about Chukwuemeka. Like that kid was a real talent for Aston Villa. Youth Cup a few years ago, absolutely smashed it, and I was keeping an eye on him. And then when he said he was going to Chelsea, I was just like, waste. And look what he's done. He's gone Chelsea.
Yeah. They've got that young Ivory Coast striker Fofana, who's meant to be good before he joined Chelsea. Like you've already said, Mark Gurley, who's meant to be good, but out on loan. Someone's got to stop him. Someone's got to step in with this Chelsea nonsense right now, to be quite honest with you, because it's getting, it's a different show, but that's getting beyond the joke what they're up to. You know, they're getting beyond the joke. Madueke, obviously, still, and Kunku.
Someone said, I don't know whether you said it to me, but the stuff that's been going on. No, it wasn't. I saw a video. The stuff that's been going on with Mudryk. Noticed how there was a potential drug ban or potential doping. Gone very, very quiet. One of them, keep it in the background. We'll sort it out. Silent ban. Won't say anything so it doesn't ruin his sort of reputation.
He's only played 7 games this season, Mudryk.
Yeah, very, very interesting to see what they've done with them. It's funny how there was the doping scandal and he's just sort of drifted away. We saw a little bit of a rise from Mudryk and then a big fall off again. And he's gone very, very quiet. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little page 13, little in the corner. Chelsea have paid someone to keep that story quite quiet, but it's still got to be in the paper for public interest.
Yeah. But anyway, it's crazy. Like Chelsea, it's ridiculous. They don't need, and they're looking at Brook Areas as well, as you said, as well.
Ekiteke was at Stade Rennes, another Stade Rennes. Apprentice. So they do well with their players. They know what they're doing when they're bringing up players. Very interesting to see what Chelsea do in the transfer market because it's going to be a big one for them. Newcastle has shown serious interest in Brighton's Brazilian forward João Pedro. It does look like he's going to be leaving this season. A fair few clubs have been interested in him, and I think Fabrizio Romano dropped a story the other day saying the same. So we'll keep an eye on that.
I'm not surprised at Pedro. Like 23, the Gators already had like 200 games, you know. Like it's like
Fulham,
so quick look at this. Yeah, literally 216 games, 64 goals in his career already. You know what I mean? Bagged 10 goals in 3 games this season for Brighton. Like he's a solid option. Again, though, Newcastle. I feel like João Pedro's the sort of player that Newcastle should have been signing 2 years ago to get him to where they are now. Not a player that takes them the next step.
Yeah, how much better is he than Anthony Gordon? What are you looking for? I would say going forward, he's better than Anthony Gordon. On the ball, is he better than Anthony Gordon? Is his output better than Gordon? What is it you're looking for? Someone who can play in multiple positions in that striker and a wing position. Maybe they're looking for that. They're trying to. I think that's what we've got to. You're going to see a lot of teams with. They're looking for players with versatility because you want to be able to play them in different positions so you can have that rotation. Because you do find if you have just that position, it's harder to move them around the pitch or give them game time. And with the amount of competitions players are going to be in, you need that bit of versatility. So
exactly.
I think we're going to see that. Manchester United held talks with Brentford over Cameroon forward Bryan Mbeumo was valued of around 50 million. What's your take on that one, Garth? Happy?
I wasn't this morning. Then I did my team of the season and looked into Brian. Was like, like I said, we've got some teams in this. I
know Nathan's a big fan of Mbeumo. He's liked him for a fair few seasons.
Yeah, he has. But again, it's this thing that he's a winger, and we don't play wingers.
Yeah.
So what we're doing here, realistically, now, Listen, the stats are incredible, but it's one season as well. If you look at every other season before then, they've been pretty underwhelming, to be quite honest with you, in most seasons. And we're like, I feel like he's very similar to Cunha, and just I don't know. I like Mason Mount. I want to see Mason Mount get a full season. I think Mason Mount's been getting better and better week in, week out. Are we selling Bruno? Because if not, I don't want to see Bruno as a centre midfielder. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Garnacho's going, but we've still got Ahmed as well. Like, it's one of them ones. This is a bit like when we were talking about signing Anthony last time. It's like, where's he playing? Are we putting Cunha up top? Is Cunha playing the striker? Because if not, I would want us to spend our money elsewhere. We need other things before we start signing Mbeumo. So, but listen, fantastic season. And for the last 2 years, all I've been saying really is like Man United need to start doing what they used to do, which was buy the best of the rest players in the Premier League, the Louis Sahas, the Alan Smiths.
Yeah.
And this is that. This is exactly that. This is exactly what that is. So, yeah, and I've got to stop being an old man and thinking 50 mil was 50 mil when I was 20. It's not. We're 20 years down the line.
25 mil, 30 mil.
It's 25, 30 mil now. That's literally what it is. You know what I mean? And like even then, it's not even 25, 30 mil back. Like you are literally talking like 20 mil with like the add-ons and everything. So the number shocks me, Keir, but it shouldn't. But yeah, listen. I've also got to trust Amorim. If this is what Amorim's saying he needs, if this is the player profile he's identified, then fair enough.
I know there's been questions over whether Amorim's going to be the manager long term. I think what you've got to be looking at is the caliber of player you're bringing in as well, and you're bringing in a good caliber of player. So whether it's going to be Amorim there or not, you've got a good player.
Do you know what, Keir? You've hit on something there. That might also be a bit what the like. Maybe this is a Wilcox signing where he's like, is Amorim going to be here 10 games into the next season?
United, not Amorim.
I need to be buying a player, like you're saying, versatility, who can play AM centre, but also when we get a new manager who takes us back to the 4-2-3-1, he can play right wing immediately, no questions. So
it's why you put football in there, so we don't have a situation where you keep on buying for the manager, and then when they leave, it doesn't work. You need to be buying for players for the club, and then that's why they want coaches in. But it's started to be a bit of a mix. People want that bit more power to say who they want to bring in because obviously they've got to work with them. So, but I don't suppose you get that luxury when you've had the season that Amorim's had.
Exactly.
So, before we get to the end, we've got a couple more. Manchester City are ramping up their pursuit of AC Milan and Netherlands midfielder Tijani Reinders, who's expected
to. That's a Pep signing.
That is a
Pep signing. That is a Pep signing. He's a good player. I'm not saying he's a very good player. Very, very good player. But that is Pep all day. System player. Bring him in, do a job. To be fair, that'd be a meaty centre midfield because Roger will be back next year as well. So, Have you seen much of him? He's very good, bro. Ryan Raiders, how you pronounce it?
Yeah. Good player. Netherlands midfielder. Very, very good player. Very good player. Ryan Leary has been on Manchester City's radar since last summer. It's probably a bit longer than that. And it's been reported by Steve once again. And he's high on their list as a left back this summer. They have been looking at him for a while. Ryan Leary is one of them players where he was very well regarded as a youngster. He was a Golden Boy nomination coming to the Premier League, and he's done really well with Wolves. Very good attacking fullback. A player who I would have thought, especially in the Amorim system, would have been of interest of Man United. Obviously, the position that they're in, it's not going to quite be really the avenue where he would potentially want to go, especially with Man City sniffing around. But very, very good fullback, wingback sort of player.
Yeah, I think it's because, like I said, we've got Dorgu now, and we've got this young kid coming in as well. This Paraguayan, and we've got Shaw for another season. Yeah. I won't lie. I know a lot of people like Aït-Nouri. I think there's a lot of weaknesses to his game.
Defensively,
really yeah. I think he goes Man City, and very quickly he becomes a sub. And 2.5 years down the line, he's at Milan or he's in Italy, he's in Spain on loan, and then they sell him the year afterwards. Could be wrong. Maybe he'll rip up. Pep is a fantastic manager. I'm not saying he can't convert players, but there's a lot of flaws in this because I know last year Man United were very interested in him again, weren't they? Like everyone's always seems to be interested in him, and every time his name comes around, I'm like, because they're going to want at least 45 mil.
Very good going forward. If you look at his goal contributions or goals chances created. Just off the top of my head, it would be good just from watching him from game to game. He's a decent fullback, and I think you get to that point where it's like, who's around, who fits the system, and if it's a slight tweak and a little bit of defensiveness that he needs to add to his game. As we speaking earlier, look what he's done with Mahrez. Look what he's done with players who are very, very attacking and very, very flary. He's managed to.
Yeah, he managed to convert, but it's also the fee with Aït-Nouri because he's got that filthy sell-on clause in his contract. Like,
he's got a big selling clause.
Oh, it's 50%. Yeah, it's a 50%. And I believe Wolves are allowed to up front pay 19 mil for it or 10 mil, something like that, to get out of it. But it's still 10 mil. You've got any fee that you're looking to buy, they've got to bang 10 mil on for the buyout clause because otherwise it's 50%. So
yeah. It's still only, what is he, 23 still?
23. Yeah, 23, yeah. I can understand why people like him. I really can. I can understand. It's just, as I keep saying, I do feel like a lot of these Wolves players are extremely overhyped and people are very quick to just ignore a lot of the flaws in their games and just go for them. And then you realise that, like, actually, next level of player.
12 goal contributions, 41 games for a team like Wolves. You can see why clubs are after him.
100%. I can understand. Yeah, and like you say, with his skill set,
11 of those contributions are in the Premier League in 31 games.
Yeah,
Pep's looking at that.
And the eye test is very nice. The eye test is very nice because he's very on the ball. He looks very nice. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I get it.
Yep. It's one that I can very much see happen. And Arsenal have essentially shut the door on a move for Jakub, or the exit door for a move for Jakub Kiwior after slapping a huge price tag.
You know what it's like 75 mil or so to slap on him.
They don't want to sell him, but it's like, if you want to pay it, and I've seen some of the reactions, which is it's crazy. Like, people don't understand the game. They're like, "Whoa, just 70 mil. You take 40 for him." Because what are you going to do with 40 mil? What are you going to do with 40 mil, mate? You ain't going to do nothing. It's like your mum giving 50p to go and get a chocolate bar. You get down there, it's 78p now. You're like, when was the last time you went?
Fredo pounds the other day, mate. Fredo pounds. Are you taking the piss out? What are we doing here?
It's a joke. You ain't getting a decent centre back that's going to slot in for 40 mil. Like, you're taking a risk. You know you've got a player that can do the business there. That you can rotate. You just got to give him more game time. That's all he needs.
You can probably find a player with a similar set of attributes to Kiwior for 40 mil, but it's the gamble of, will he settle? Will he fit in? Does the Premier League suit him? You know, like I'll send you a video later. Have you seen the Zlatan talking about the differences between the Liga, Serie A, and the Premier League?
No.
Very interesting about what he's saying the big differences are. And the thing about the Premier League is like, it's so fast. You may be one of the most technical players around. Your skill, like, I'm paraphrasing, your skill set may be magnificent, but if you haven't got that turn of speed, that quick turn, the half turn, you're done. Don't matter how good you are in the Premier League, doesn't matter. And that's the game where you're taking it. You go and buy another centre back from somewhere for 40 mil, it turns up you ain't good enough, and now you're done, ain't you? Yeah. But listen, if someone does offer you 70, 75 mil for credit,
gone.
I'm calling fraud. I'm calling fraud, bruv. I'm calling the fraud squad. But it's
going to be one of them things. His price tag 70. Someone comes with 55 plus add-ons. It goes up to 60 potentially.
Yeah, I haven't watched him this season, really. I haven't watched you boys a lot. Has he come on leaps and bounds? Has he this year? Like, there's a lot of hype being spoken about this year. It feels like
he's just been given game time. I've always liked the look of him, and I feel like people's like, it really frustrates me because it's like, why are you not seeing this? He came in, he was played at left back for a lot of games, to cover in that position, and he was very sort of on and off. When he was moved into centre back, he looked a lot more steady in that position, but he didn't really get many games in that position. But when he does come in and has a little run, he looks good. So that when it's that in and out, you're not played in 13 games, you're going to have one game here. People go, they're always quick to judge. Get rid of him. He's not good enough. No, he is good enough. He just needs game time. But you've got on his side, he has to adapt to that. He has to adapt to being prepared for when he does get that chance to come in. He needs to be mentally ready. He needs to believe himself because he's been there now and he's done it. And he needs to, when he does come in, he needs to look to say, I'm going to try and hold my spot down. I'm going to try and play well enough because I know I can to try and hold that spot. And you've got to be fighting for your shirt in that position. I think it's helped him playing in the big games this season against PSG and Real Madrid. And he's been very, very good. Good in the air, solid centre-back, good on the ball, and he's got a decent pace as well. I really like Jakub Kylian. It'd be stupid. I don't like this chopping and changing the players when there's no need to. I don't like when people are like, just like sell him on because like you've just got someone else in. Like it's not a pair of trainers, and it's not my mum trying to get rid of my old trainers. Keep the old trainers, keep the old players. You need that consistency within the squad. Players get used to how they're playing together. It's no coincidence that when you see the Spanish national teams that when they do so well, it's because they've been brought up from youth team at Barcelona and Real Madrid, and they come up together. It's the same when you saw with Germany. It's the same when you saw with France. They all come up together. So we need to have a little bit of consistency with our squad going forward, and just try and look to add. Yes, there's going to be people going up, but just try and look to add players to the squad now.
Just quickly then, before we go, 5 minutes. I know we're running a bit late. Can I ask you a few names if you think they're going to be at Arsenal or should be at Arsenal next season?
Go on.
Ben White?
Yes.
They'll stay Zinchenko?
No, I think he will go, and I think he needs to move on because he's too good to sit on the bench, but I can understand why he's not getting as much game time.
You still got Tomiyasu?
Go.
Yeah,
we all love Tommy, but mate, you've had 2.5 seasons of injuries. Like literally, you've had more games out than you've played over the last 2 seasons, and that can't happen.
So I'm guessing it's going to be a similar answer to Gabriel Jesus then as well.
Gabby. I think there's only one place he's going to go, and that's back to Brazil. So if it's a case of you're forcing a move, don't force it, because I think he's a player that you could have on the sidelines with his injury and how long it's going to take for him to come back. I don't think you need to force a move, and I think he could be of value in those situations when you're coming up to later on in the season. A little bit like what we wanted Sterling to be. I think that could be the Gabriel Jesus. He's not part of the plans immediately. We're bringing in a striker to replace him, whatever. But while he's there for this season, I would keep him because I think there could be moments where he could be needed. And I know people will mark him off, but I think he's an excellent player.
No, you listen again. You need that squad depth. You need it. So I get where you're coming from. The more interesting ones, Trossard. I feel like he's gone this summer. Trossard,
I think will go because I think his age. I think he's looking for regular first team football, but not a rotation. I think he's looking to be the main man, and any club that buys him, just have him as the main man because he's going to get upset and he's going to become a moody bastard. But I love Trossard. I've got nothing bad to say against Trossard. I think he's been a really good signing.
If you get a Williams or a Rodrigo, does Martinelli stay?
Yes.
He does.
We had this conversation before and I was like, no. But I think in the end, I came to the conclusion that you can have him as a rotation or on the bench for a season without him even kicking up.
Yeah.
And I think we should be using that. And I think I go back to what Steve said, because at the time I was a bit, but going what Steve said, he's so appreciative of what the club done when they took him from the second division in Brazil that I think he's got that element of, I love this club, and it will only be until he's frustrated where he's not potentially getting as much game time. So I think you have got that year without any issues. And then I think what you have in that year is if you're winning trophies, I think you get to keep those players for maybe a potential another year because you're winning.
No, 100% yeah. Because it's not winning distance. Yeah. You're going distance in these competitions, so they get more games. That's the other thing. You know, and more injuries happen. So, like, not that you want that, but then they get more league games. Yeah. Would that be a similar answer for you for if you get a striker with Kai Havertz as well? Then, if you're keeping Jesus as well.
Yeah, I think that Kai Havertz is one that's the least worry of all of them because of how versatile he is. And I think we're going to see more of Kai Havertz in that 10 role this season, which will see a bit more rotation of Ødegaard, which I think the slander of Ødegaard has been absolutely ridiculous this season. Like, ridiculous. The guy came back early from an injury because he's a captain, because that's what captains do. They put their injury aside, and he was playing on an injury. It was so clear. So clear. You're not getting as much running distance. He's blowing out towards the end of games. Like, he's just not the same tenacity from the start to finish. His shooting boots ain't been the same, and you're starting to see that towards the end of the season. It's funny enough that's on the same foot he had his ankle injury. Like, even if it's a standing foot, you're going to get that little bit of a difference, I think. Yeah, and I think I'd like to see him rotated a bit more. I think people need to forget about the fact that he is captain. Captains can be subbed off or rotated. It's not a slight on him being a captain. Not the reason why you had that leadership group.
Yeah. Captains don't mean what they did when Roy Keane and Patrick.
Yeah. You're playing every game, every minute. It's not the same.
Every single minute, like blood, sweat, like walking around, I'll be shot and I don't care. Yeah, 2 bullet wounds in the shoulder. I'm still playing, mate. I'm still playing. It ain't like that no more. Captains armband don't mean shit, really. When you've got people like Ødegaard and Bruno as captains, you know it's a group effort because these ain't the blood and thunder leaders of 20 years ago. They just ain't.
And they're given the captaincy for a different reason.
Exactly.
So,
they're a Matetitia captain. Although that geezer's lost his damn mind now, so let's not talk about Matetitia.
But damn mind. It was between Reform, UKIP, he's going to be
the next David Icke, bro. He's going to be the next David Icke.
He could just write articles for the Daily Sport, couldn't he? Like, if that paper's still going. Like, ridiculous.
Like Roy Jennings said once, and that is one of the few things he said that was right. If you ever want 20 minutes of joy, go and watch some highlights of Matt Le Tissier on YouTube, because just don't listen to a word that comes out of his mouth, because he's batshit insane.
Don't go to X full stop, really, unless you're going to unless you're going to watch the show.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely filth out there these days. But they're not the same as captains anymore. You don't need to be worrying. This is why I always get them the wrong way around. Lee Gunner, the way he talks about it, it's like, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. I don't need the armband.
On to that, people are starting to get. I feel like it's starting to change a little bit. People are asking for a bit more level-headedness when it comes to a bit more balance when it comes to football punditry, especially from fans. Hopefully that starts to rub off on the professionals, because you are meant to be professionals. You shouldn't be copying what they're doing on the socials. I look to escape from the socials, and I don't go from the socials to a professional pundit and journalist and expect questions like who's had a better season, Tottenham or Arsenal. Please don't. And I mean this genuinely, stop lowering yourself to what they're asking on the socials. Yeah, you're better than that. You went to university. You are established. You've worked so hard to get in front of these managers. Stop asking them who's had a better season, Arsenal or Spurs. It's genuinely embarrassing. Stop asking the players as well. Like when the players just picking up a Europa League trophy, why are you asking Thanos who's had a better season? What you got to say to Arsenal fans? Like, come on, leave that to the fans to ask.
Hey, we're talking about stopping interviewing things. Stop interviewing James Maddison as well. Absolute bum. Like, he did absolute bum. Didn't play a minute of that game. Out there full kit, like bum. Giving it the all throwing darts. Roy Keane was right, mate. Roy Keane was entirely right about you.
Oh, you're a good player. You're a good player.
Yeah, but that's it. That's it. You're good for. That's it.
That's it. Just on Ben White, because I know you've asked this question before about Ben White and what happens to him with Jurrien Timber there. You've seen what happened to Jurrien Timber without Ben White, and that's why I've always said there's a place in this team for both of them. The fact that you've got versatility across both of those two players, whether it's centre back, centre midfield, left back, or whatever, right back, they're needed. And the difference that you get with Ben White, again, anyone that's watched Ben White since he's come back over Jurrien Timber, you're getting a classic fullback who is more attacking than Jurrien Timber. So it's a different style of play. And I think you just appreciate
solid centre back as well. Yeah, solid centre back as well.
Long term,
Brexit means Brexit defender. That's what he is, mate. Brexit means Brexit defender.
His range of passing and movement for a centre back is very, very good.
Yeah.
And I
if
think
you can keep them happy,
that's magnificent. Yeah.
Like if you can keep these players happy,
then
that's magnificent. There's no two ways about it. If you can keep the likes of Havertz, Martinelli, Ben White, like with enough minutes over the season that they're not even thinking about it, come towards the end of next season, that's magnificent work. And listen. I was going to say, trophies ain't everything, but getting to the later stages of all these competitions makes that a lot easier. Even if you don't win anything, getting through to the semi-finals, quarterfinals of the cups makes it a lot easier to give these players minutes. So
and this season will show these players that you need that player as a rotation. Yes, you want to play every single game and every single minute. You may feel like your place is up for grabs, or you may lose your spot up as a threat. But you both had to go through surgery this season because you played so many minutes. Look after yourselves. Going to be a very, very interesting summer. Who's going to buy who? Who's going to be linked with who? Make sure you join us every Monday. I know we changed the show today, slightly different. Got quite a few.
It was bank holiday yesterday. Yeah, it was bank holiday yesterday. You know what I mean? It was bank holiday, mate.
Bank holiday, and I'm still Charlton got promoted from League One to the Championship. What a day that was. Shout out to Nathan Jones and the players. An absolutely phenomenal season. Charlton.
Was it a good game?
It was not a great game at all. It was. Nathan Orient didn't really turn up.
It was tense. It was
Nathan Orient didn't turn up. Charlton were the better team and fully deserved it. Gillespie with an excellent free kick. Defensively, Charlton were outstanding. Ramsey, once again, playing non-league. Kane Ramsey playing non-league 2 seasons ago. And he's now playing in the Championship this season. Excellent against Wickham and excellent against Leyton Orient the other day. Lloyd Jones, unlucky not to be in a team of the season. You look at his CV was brought up through Liverpool, so you can see why he's got that quality. Excellent player, excellent signing from Jones. Just a really solid and honest team and honest performance, and I think that's what we asked for. If anyone saw his post-match speech to the squad, he said he asked for players to sacrifice things outside of football. He asked for players to put their body on the line when it matters, and he said that clean sheets will get you promoted, and that's exactly what they did. Defensively, they were sound. Yeah. Matty Godden in with 22 goals this season. Yeah. And if they didn't go up, mate, they were going to get ripped apart. Tyrese Campbell, there was bids in for. Matty Godden wouldn't have stayed long. Lloyd Jones would have gone.
You semi-answered my next question. Then, have they got enough about him with a couple of signings to stay up next year?
More than enough. It's not about staying up for Charlton, mate. Get that momentum. This is what he's going to be looking for. He's going to be looking to get that playoff. I think that's what they got to go for. I think I was speaking to Simpson. Sorry, you're getting involved in a private conversation, which is now the wider conversation. I was speaking to him and I was saying, look, the momentum they've got, the location that Charlton is, London team, you can get in players. There's a lot of teams in the round where you can snap those players up because do you know what? Actually, you're a former Premier League team and you're in London. So I like the looks of that. I might have a bit of that. So I think they've got to be astute in the transfer market, which they have been so far. Bringing in Thierry Small, a player who clearly had issues because he was very highly regarded as a youngster when Man United and Arsenal both looking at him when he was a youngster, and he was bought for $2 million by Southampton, and it didn't work out. 2 years later, he ends up at St Mirren on loan. So that and then I think Charlton got him on a free. So that something dodgy went there. But he has brought in a better caliber of players, brought in players that were playing in the Championship, were at Luton, Coventry. So I think Charlton have got the right man in charge to bring in the right players to at least get him in those playoff spots. So it'd be interesting to see what they do in the summer as well. So I'll be keeping tabs on that. But it's the best place to be every Monday at 8 o'clock. We're going to have Steve K here to answer all your questions, to give us the latest transfer news as well. Make sure you join us every Monday at 8 o'clock for the Transfer Exchange show as well. Thank you for joining us tonight, Garth.
Pleasure as always, mate. Pleasure as always.
And thank you for joining us, everyone who was on Twitter. We've got quite a few people watching tonight, so press that like if you are watching on Twitter. Press that subscribe if you are watching on YouTube and you are new to the show. Press that retweet, press that share button, all of the above. Make sure you join us on comment.
Get a comment. Player of the season.
I don't think you understand how much it helps. These 3 things of pressing the share button, pressing the retweet, commenting.
First and last name, player of the season. Get it in the comments, people. Come on, you know you want to.
There we go. Direction to what we want in there. First and last. All right. If you've missed out anyone, get in the comment section and let us know who you would have stuck in there. I very much doubt it for those forward players as well.
There's no,
make sure you join us on the Transfer Exchange Show on TikTok and Kieran AFC on TikTok as well. Those counts are growing nicely. So if you are one of those followers that have come from here, I appreciate the support there. All right. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.